Welcome back to the Narwhog! Today is the first day of midterm exams, and therefore, what we're going to talk about today is how to avoid stress and study hard during your midterms.
Ba-dum-ba-dum, 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 the Narwhog!
Last year I made a funny video about dealing with stress during midterms. If you'd like to see it, you can click right here. Today, I'm going to be interviewing several of the teachers on the hall and asking them to give you some advice on how to deal with stress during midterms, how to study hard, and in the meantime, I'm going to be sitting here grading. Mr. Ishii, what sort of advice do you have for our students for dealing with stress during midterms and being successful?
Well, I think about one of the things that we talked about in Theory of Knowledge about memory.
Ah, yes.
And we discovered from our study a very interesting phenomenon about memory, and that is, first of all, the all-nighter is absolutely a bad idea. That you're a lot better off if you study normally and then get plenty of sleep. That your retention is much higher and you do a lot better. Also, it seems to be very productive to study in the evening and then sleep, and you will remember much better in the morning than if you study early in the day and then try to remember it later in the day. So sleep on it is the advice.
Sleep on it. Make sure you get that sleep. Make sure you study and then sleep.
To study or not to study? If that is your question, then you definitely need to study. And here's some advice for you. My suggestion would be to think about the big topics that your teacher emphasized throughout the semester. Group them in 2 or 3 major topics, broad topics. Break them down into more specific content within each of those. Don't worry as much about memorization as you are big ideas and concepts, because if you know the big ideas and the concepts, you'll be able to reason your way to a more specific answer.
Hello students, my advice to you during these midterms is to ignore stress and just keep working. We all have to do this.
It'll get done sooner or later.
Right.
Thank you.
Advice for dealing with stress, I would say the logical thing is get plenty of sleep, but also I encourage Christmas cookie consumption, maybe some fudge, some marshmallows, hot chocolate, and such. Also, study tip, really, the only subject that matters is biology, so, do what you will with other classes, and I'll see you for the midterm.
Well, to plan for midterms, I would say take it one step at a time, study, look through your notes, don't assume that everything on a study guide is the only thing that could be on your test, and just do your best. Oh, and try not to cry.
Mr. Grammer, what tip do you have for dealing with stress or for studying during midterms?
Well, dealing with stress, I think you always have to consider why you're stressed, because stress is not always a bad thing. If it weren't for stress, I'm not sure, anything would really get done.
That's true.
Of course, that is slippery slope, right? So I think the big thing to reducing stress is figure out why. It's so much of it is from procrastination, right? It's from this whole, I only kind of studied a little bit, and then now I'm trying to cram it all in, or
So start early.
Also, another thing is sometimes people lack a lot of confidence in themselves. They think that they're not ready, when really they're very much ready.
Be confident.
Yeah, and if it's for the procrastination things, I think we make things out to be much worse in our mind than they really are. It's like studying is going to be this, it's going to be this terrible, terrible thing. But if we just sit down and do it, it's really not that bad. I mean, I do the same thing. I don't know if you do this, but I do this with grading. And I'm always like procrastinating, and I'm just like, it'd be so terrible. And really, it's not that bad. I'll put on like, I'll put on like an album or something. Some people still listen to those, and just work through the album. And then by the time I'm the album's done, I mean I'm mostly through, and things are sort of pieced out too. I don't try to do everything in one night. And then as far as being successful with studying, another tip that I have, because I'm one of those people where it's like, if I have so much to do, I get stressed. And then I shut down and don't want to do it. It's like this vicious cycle. So one thing that I like to do to study for stuff or anything is sort of break it down and piece it out. So to give you an example, when I was studying to pass the French exam for my licensure as a French teacher, what I did was I would keep a grammar book right beside my bed. And then every night, right before I went to bed, I would basically just read it. Just read through. And I would turn to any page I wanted. I didn't commit myself to having any specific order that I had to do anything in. I would just find something, and whatever I wanted to read, I would read it.
Cool.
And because I did it every night before I went to bed, it was something that I did too. It also became like part of your day.
Sure.
So it's sort of like when I practice juggling. Every day after school, I'll put in 5, 10 minutes, however long I want. You know, if it's only 30 seconds, even if it's just a quick. Alright, I mean, you know, it's something I did every day. So, that's it, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Papa Hemingway says, make sure you get some rest while you're doing all this too.
Alright, we're here today in the library with the beautiful library Christmas tree, and we're here to talk about the Winter Break Readathon.
Yes, our Winter Break Readathon starts on Monday. It is called Hot Reads for Cold Nights, and you can start counting all the book pages that you read starting Monday and continuing all the way through until we get back from winter break, and all things are due on Friday, January 9th.
So we can count things that we read during exam week.
Yes, during
That's
exam
exciting.
week and the 2 weeks of break. Anything counts. Magazines, books, newspapers, even graphic novels or comic books. The only catch with those is they count every 5 pages of a graphic novel counts as 1 page read.
Very good. What about books of poetry?
Absolutely counts. Anything you read.
What about books of literary criticism?
Absolutely.
Very good. Very good.
If you want to choose your break reading literary criticism, that is entirely up to you. When we come back, these are due by January 9th, which is the Friday we return from winter break, and we will enter them in to win prizes. We will raffle things. The highest number of pages read by any student will automatically win a prize, and teachers are encouraged to participate as well. So Mr. Nance and myself, we will be reading over the break too.
Yes, I'm planning on finishing. I've been reading through the Sherlock Holmes stories, and I'm planning on finishing over break.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
What have you been reading?
I am working on the Unwind series by Neil Schusterman, and I plan to finish that over the break.
I've heard good things about it, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, and please keep reading.
Thanks for watching. Click on the Viking helmet to subscribe. Click on the mug to watch the next video, which is about Christmas caroling in a mug. Click on the cardboard helmet to watch the previous video. Or click on the fireman's hat and you can watch my video from last year about dealing with stress during midterms.